Welcome to Madison's Real Estate and welcome to our video series of the top 10 tips with industry experts. Today's expert is Patrick Bright. Patrick is from EPS Property Search in Neutral Bay, and Patrick is one of the leading buyers agents in Sydney. Patrick has also written 3 best-selling books on how to buy property. So what Patrick doesn't know about buying property is not worth knowing. So thank you very much for joining us today, Patrick.
Thanks, Lisa. Very kind.
Okay, Patrick, so what are your tips?
Right, Lisa. First thing is I find most people have trouble with is developing a needs and a wants list. So when people are searching for property, what they do is they go looking, and they don't often have a wish list. And that is the most critical thing you can do. Get a detailed list of what do you need and what do you want. Get everything that you need in a property and then get as many of the wants in there as well. The other thing is if you're looking to properties, you've got to set up your alerts. That's an obvious thing if you're looking on the internet. But the most important thing is to build a database of all the sales agencies and selling agents in particular in the area of influence. So let's just take Mossman, Neutral Bay, Cremorne area. There's roughly 60 agencies and over 300 sales agents. You need to build a database of those people if you want to know about any properties that are coming on the market immediately when they come on. So if you want to get these, what they call the silent sales, or get to properties that are quietly listed, unless you're in touch with those agents, you won't know about them. And a lot of property, I mean probably a third of the property we see is before it even hits the public market. And some of that we buy, some of that we don't, but it's certainly if you want to be getting first choice, you need to be up with it. Next thing is probably looking at valuing property, assessing a price value. If you want to be as informed as the local sales agents, I think that the most important thing you can do is actually look at about 100 properties. Now you might go, oh, 100 properties? That's a lot of property, and it is a lot of weekends. However, if you break it down, let's break that down. If you look at 8 to 10 properties a week, which is easy to do on a Saturday. I mean, we see over 20 if you're organised. Say 8 to 10 over 8 to 10 weeks. You're going to look at 100 properties. Now you're going to be very well informed about the market, about what prices are. So you can treat every property, which is another point, as if it's going to auction. Now people get frustrated with auction, they get frustrated with offers above, they get frustrated with price ranges. People say, just give me a price, you know, what do you want for it? Don't get frustrated with that. If you get educated and become informed, you won't be frustrated with that. You'll be able to put a fair price on a property. I've seen people, look at asking prices. You don't just take 10 or 20% off the asking price and think that that might be what it's worth, because I've seen properties more than that asking price over what they're worth. So if you say, oh, if I get 50 grand off $1 million asking price, then that doesn't mean you're actually getting a good deal, because it actually could be only worth about 900.
Exactly.
And if you get 50 grand off $1 million, you've paid 950, you've paid too much. So getting out there and doing the research is the only way you're going to know about that. Another good tip, building and pest inspections. Do not buy properties without them. I speak to solicitors all the time. They say our clients don't get them. I've been gazumped a number of times by buyers who weren't getting a building and pest inspection. What you want to know with a building and pest inspection is the property going to fall down? Does it have termites or structural damage? That's the rest of the report is going to tell you things that you probably can see visually yourself, but those things are not obvious all the time.
Exactly.
Spend your $500-600, get your building and report. Strata search as well. If you're buying an apartment, that's important. Keeping your emotions in check when you're looking at properties. Lisa won't like me saying this so much, but don't disclose too much to the sales agent about how much you like the property. Try to be fairly neutral. Don't walk in and if you fall in love with it, and don't have that written all over your face. But don't also at the same time be real negative about the property, because if you show negativity towards it, the sales agent's going to assume that you're not interested. They're not going to follow you up.
Yeah, that's right.
But sort of say to them, look, I'm interested, I do like it, but don't be too gushing over it, because that won't help you when it comes to negotiation time. Researching on the internet. Now, this is one that I'm finding more and more frustrating, and I'm finding more and more people are buying properties sight unseen. They're relying on the photos off the internet. Now, let's be clear, there's a bit of poetic license with marketing of property and marketing any product that you're buying. The photos are having a property with artificial lighting. It looks its best. They're taking it from wide angles to make it look good. That's the job of the sales agent. Let's not bash them up about it. They're there to make the property look fantastic and show it in its best possible light. So understand that. They're not going to have the property looking at its most average. So do not buy a property sight unseen. It is critical that you go and look at the property. It does happen, and it's madness.
Or have someone look at it for you.
Get someone to look at it for you if you can't go and look at it yourself. Be important, because often I get asked by people who are interstate or overseas to buy them a property. They send me a link, this one looks fantastic. I go take my photos, send them the photos. They often say, did you go to the same property?
Exactly.
Okay.
Some of them look so different.
They really do, don't they? Buying at auction. Okay, a lot of property in the Lower North Shore is auctioned. Okay. If it's going to auction and you've never bid at an auction before, I suggest you go to probably a dozen auctions. Even if you've bid at an auction before, go to about a dozen auctions, get the vibe, see what it's like, and so you understand what goes on and what can happen. You probably won't see the same thing happen at all dozen auctions, because they have different parties involved, different auctioneers, different sales agents with different personalities. So you don't get bullied at the auction, because if you don't understand the rules of the auction, it's easy for you to be bullied around and pushed around by the sales agents and the auctioneer. So, you know, it can be quite an intimidating process. Be very careful, but you can buy fantastically well at auction. I'm very happy to go to auctions and buy properties there, because you know you can get really good prices with people being put under pressure to sell on the day. Doesn't necessarily always get the best price. Sometimes they do get a great price and sometimes they don't. So if you do your research and you set a realistic limit, you'll know whether you're buying well or not. Value isn't just based on location. Okay, it's not just value. Just because you buy in a suburb, say I pick Mossman for a suburb, there's good and not so great parts to Mossman. Every suburb has A, B, C, D grade property, if you like, in different locations and positions. So when you're researching, be very careful that you're not paying an A grade price in a C grade position. That's very easy to do. Different sides of the street, you know, pick Cowles Road. We all know Cowles Road, for instance. That's got a high and a low side to it, and it's got a south and a northern side of Military Road to it. The prices vary 10-15% on that street, just by which side of Military Road you're on and whether you're on the high or the low side. That's a big price difference. When we're talking a couple of $1 million for your average home in the area, you're talking a couple of $100,000 difference. So if you look at a property inspection report, which you can buy off the internet for $50, you know, they are going to give you a very rough guide. Just because other properties in the street sold for $2 million doesn't mean this one's worth that. It could be worth $200,000 or $300,000 less very easily. The other thing that really influences price that people overlook when they're getting these property inspection reports is floor plan. Those reports don't give you the floor plan. They do not give you the position the house is situated on the block. So just because you've got a 400 or 500 block land size, is the house situated at the front or the back of the block? Because we don't use our front yards. We use our back. So if the house is situated at the back of the block and there's a lot of front yard, that's a lot of wasted land. So you could be paying $100,000, you know, you could be paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for 100 square metres of dirt that you're not ever going to use.
You're going to have to mow.
Okay, you're just going to have to mow it, you're not going to use it. The other thing is these property inspection reports don't tell you. They don't tell you the renovated condition of the property. Is it renovated, unrenovated? As I said, the floor plan, layout and flow is very important. They don't tell you about the privacy. Is the backyard looked upon by 2 or 3 neighbours, or is it private lined by trees? Does it have a view? These are the things that these property reports don't have.
Is good too now.
Google Earth is helpful, but once again, it won't tell you that aspect, because Google Earth doesn't put you in that physical position that you're going to be looking out of the bedroom or looking off the back deck.
That's right.
It doesn't.
If it's got a block of apartments beside it, or
it'll help with that,
something.
but that's all it will help.
Yeah.
So physical inspection is critical, but buying these reports, be very careful about comparable sales reports that you buy for $50.
Yeah.
That's why I say do your 100 properties looking, because you'll know, you will have seen some of these properties that have recently sold, so you'll know what value and weight to put on them. And this is where I see people getting misled or hoodwinked on price very easily and overpaying a lot of money. Another thing that people get worried about is, what is the street like? Is it going to be busy in the mornings? Is it going to be ease of parking? So some of the areas that don't have a lot of parking on the street, I suggest you go to the property at peak hour and check it out.
Yeah.
You know, but sit there between 5 and 7 o'clock when everyone's coming home from work and see how quickly the spaces fill up. Then you'll know if you've got off-street parking or not easily. Okay, it's a good way to check that out. If you've got several properties on your inspection list that you're looking at, so there might be 3 or 4 properties all open between 10 and 11, and you can't get to all of them at once. Get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, go for a drive past them. That usually rules a few out, so you can get that visual aspect. So that can knock a few off for you. So that's pretty much, I think I've run through about 10, 12 tips there,
Yeah,
Lisa,
great.
for your clients, and hope that helps them out and
Fantastic.
gives some ideas.
So what's the best way to contact you?
Best way to get hold of me is probably email, website, phone number. I'll give you our phone numbers, 9904 4722. Our office is based in Neutral Bay, but we service all over Sydney. I've got a team of 10. We run property management. We have a renovation division as well, and we help people buy their homes and investment properties. And the website is www.epspropertysearch.com.au.
And the great thing is that Patrick can do all that searching for you and all that research, and you can have your weekends to go to the beach or parties or barbecues. So thanks very much, Patrick, for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you.